Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Firing Pins Weekly Livestream. As you can see, we are sans Brandon tonight, so viewership is probably just going to tank.
We're going to be in the toilet, right?
If it's just a Pat and Josh show. So
nobody's
we get it,
in
guys.
for us.
We get it. It's all right. We get it. We're going to talk about a lot of things tonight. We're going to talk about some stuff that we got today. Pat and Joe and I were working hard all day today.
So busy.
We got multiple shipments, literally pallets of stuff for you guys, and a lot of it's almost gone.
Selling guns and ammo like crazy today.
Let me start my watch party. Boom. Share.
So while Josh is doing that, I'm going to start from my left, your right, and we'll go down the list of some of the stuff that we got here. So we got these 3.5-inch copper-plated Federal 12-gauge buckshot loads. This is 3.5 inches. What is that? Double-aught buck. It is double-aught buck. The sticker's right over there, so I couldn't see. 18 pellets, you guys. 18 pellets of double-aught buck in this 3.5-inch shotgun shell, and it's copper-plated. These are going for $5 for $19.99, and that thing is just gonna. I don't even want to think about what it's going to do to somebody's shoulder.
3.5.
You touch that thing off, you are going to know for certain. This is a 20-gauge box of 3-inch, 275-grain solid copper tipped slugs. So these are obviously your sabot slugs, right? So these are for your rifled barrels as opposed to your smoothbore guns. These also are sabot slugs. These are Hornady SSTs, 12 gauge, 2 3/4 for rifled barrels, loaded with 300-grain SSTs.
Very, very popular deer hunting round.
Yeah, incredibly popular deer hunting round. Very, very accurate slug reportedly, and super nice load. So these, I believe, are lead-free. Is that correct? Copper?
These are.
Oh, right. Okay, so I'm sorry. The Federals are solid copper. The SSTs do have some lead. Okay,
which is why they cost a little bit more.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. It's worth it, guys, if you're looking to keep lead out of your meat, I think. So 12 gauge, 2 3/4, 1 ounce rifled slugs. So these are for your smoothbore barrels, for your 12 gauges. Yep, Federal True Ball, $6.99, guys. So very reasonable price. Yep, low recoil, 2 3/4 inch, 1 ounce rifled slugs. At a great price there.
It's been months since we've had those in stock too.
Yeah, those have been really difficult for us to get. We got a bunch. We've been selling a lot of them. We still have some over on the shelf though, so that's very nice. We also got, Josh, this 36-grain copper-plated hollow point
HP,
22 baby. Long rifle, 333-round boxes, guys. We're busting these out for $34.99 for 333 rounds. We've got looks like about 15, 20 boxes left over there on the shelf. We've been moving a lot of this stuff today as well, so that's going to go quickly, all right? 410, here we got some number 9 shot. This is a 1/2 ounce load, 2.5-inch 410 bore, number 9 shot there, so.
Not 410 gauge.
Not 410 gauge, 410 bore. You got it.
410 is not a gauge. Remember that, guys.
It is a measurement of caliber. We got some CB22 short subsonic stuff. This is 29-grain lead round nose bullets for your 22 shorts. Those are going for $15.99 for 50 rounds. Pretty reasonable.
100.
Is that 100?
100 rounds.
Okay, yeah, 5 by 20.
Yeah, 100 rounds.
Silly Pat. And then we got the Hornady Black, 5.45 by 39. And I'm going to take these out because I've never seen 5.45 by 39 in a brass case with a tipped polymer bullet. I'm not sure how well you guys can see that on my little camera. I hope very well. But, man, that is just a nasty looking load. And they're listing this at 2,800 feet per second at the muzzle, guys, for a 60-grain VMAX bullet out of your 5.45. So if you've got an AK-74 or you've got some sort of AR pattern rifle in 5.45, which is what I want, then we got some ammo for you there. And here we got some range packs, 200 grain, 45 ACP range packs, 230 grain FMJ for $109.99 for 200 rounds. So right around 50, 55 cents a round,
which is not much higher than it used to be.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
A little bit higher,
we used to sell 45 for $24.99 a box.
Yep.
Times 4, that's only gone up $10.
Right.
So we're doing what we can, guys, to keep all of our prices as low as we can. We have been hit from all sides at the manufacturer, at the distributor level, with price increases ranging from 10 to 30% increases. We're doing our best, to keep all of our prices as low as we can. Sometimes there's just no way around it. If our cost goes up, we gotta bump our costs up.
Otherwise, we can't keep the lights on for you guys. So
correct. So
way it goes.
It's going to be like that for a long time, guys. Ammo prices are not going down anytime soon, unfortunately, because shops like us are placing back orders now when the prices are high, unfortunately, because if we don't, we're not going to be able to get ammo. So when they have to fill those back orders,
fill them at the price.
It's at the higher price.
Yep.
So ammo prices are not going to go down anytime soon. Ammo's slowly becoming more and more available. That may change at any moment. So let's talk about maybe some of these here, which you might be using for regular season. What did we have happen the night before the start of the regular season? A lot of people. No, sorry. Opening season as far as like for deer hunting, right? We had a bunch of people come in thinking that they could
thinking they could buy the slugs.
Walk in the night before opening day, grab whatever ammo they needed, and a lot of people were sorely disappointed. A lot of people had no idea that we've been in a nationwide ammo shortage for 10 months. I don't know how they didn't know that, but some people just don't pay attention. So don't be one of those people. If you need shotgun slugs, we have them now. I don't know when we're going to have them again. I don't know if we'll have them in time for next season. Be prepared, plan ahead, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? Yeah. So we've got them now. Even if you're all set for this season, get what you think you may need for next season. Don't go crazy because, we want to share the wealth, but we also did not post any kind of limit on this stuff today. So we've still got a bunch of shotgun slugs left. I will tell you, we got 200 of the rifled slugs in. We're probably down to about 40 boxes of those.
Yeah, those went really fast.
We posted those mere hours ago.
Yep.
So those are flying off the shelf. The Horn 80 SSTs are flying off the shelf, guys. Seriously, if you hunt with a shotgun and you need slugs, stock up for next season now.
Yep. Yeah, don't wait until the night before or even the week before deer season, because like Josh said, that's how you end up going without, right? Or you end up overpaying. So don't do that to yourselves, guys. Buy it cheap, stack it deep if you have that ability. And it's not going to get any less expensive probably than what it is right now for the foreseeable future. So if you see some ammunition and you think you might need it, this might be a good time to just try to get a little at a time while you can.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. So one real quick admin thing I have to hit at the top of the show. We have a sponsor this evening, and the sponsor is my wife, April Kimball. She sponsored this T-shirt right here. For those of you guys that think I dress myself funny, no, my wife dresses me funny. No, I'm just kidding. She bought me this T-shirt. She really likes it. She wanted me to tell all you guys that she's the one that selected this for tonight's live stream. So
she already said fashions by I think she's like A. Kimball or something in the chat. So
of course, yep. So
pitter patter, let's get going.
Excellent. Okay, so as you guys may know, we did post earlier today. We were going to talk a little bit about concealed carry with you guys this evening. Something that has been weighing heavily on all of our minds, I'm sure. We got a lot of new pistol permit holders coming in. We've got a lot of folks looking for 9mm ammo or new handguns or training or whatever the case is. And so we thought we would spend a little bit of time trying to answer some questions from you guys. So we're going to get to some of those questions here as time goes on. Brian's going to, read those off for us. So I look forward to hearing about that stuff. So Brandon's not with us tonight. What's up with that?
Well, I heard that he might be able to Zoom with Tyler.
Oh.
So, yeah.
So.
Or else he was going to drop off some stuff for his mom to bring to Tyler. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's
so either way, he's somewhat related to hearing from Tyler, which is cool.
So doing a little supply drop action, right? Getting Tyler some of the stuff that he needs, but also, getting some of that good update info that you guys are always clamoring for, and maybe even getting to say hello or lift his spirits a little bit. So that's why Brandon couldn't be with us tonight. So we wanted you guys to know that he is doing he's doing what he needs to do for our buddy Tyler, right? To help take care of him in his time of need. So
he's doing pretty good. That's what I've heard.
That's excellent.
Doing pretty good.
So I've seen some of the updates too, and it seems like
he got to go outside. I know he got to go to the roof of where he's at. They have kind of moved him around because they've had like an influx, of people
COVID
with
patients, and
the
stuff
COVID.
like that.
So he has to share his room now, unfortunately. So that they can make space for people. But
Sure.
He's our guy, so he's probably talking up, his roommate. And
I was wondering about, would he, if it was me, I had been in the hospital for probably like 8 weeks and pretty much, by myself when somebody wasn't there to visit.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably want somebody there with me,
right?
To keep me company and stuff like that. Or maybe he just got accustomed to being on his own. And so I'm interested to ask him.
Yeah, I don't know
that.
how he feels about having a roommate.
When you go from, kind of being by yourself, is that maybe preferable at a certain point, or would you rather be? So I don't know. We'll have to get his feedback on that when we can. Brian, how are we looking on any questions, man? Do you have anything rolling in from the viewership or anything on the last post from earlier today?
Yeah, we've got a couple
that
have come in from the stream so far.
Okay.
That should be fairly quick to hit.
Let's try and get a couple of those if we can.
Yeah. So Michael was asking if you guys have any 30-06. He said reasonably priced 30-06 rifles.
In fact, I don't have anything in 06, right?
No, we just got 2 Ruger Americans and 243. Those are very nice rifles. Probably the best. I would say probably one of the best
in that price point.
Sub like $500 hunting rifle.
Yeah, Ruger Americans are very nice.
Yeah, we don't have any 30-06 guns at the moment, unfortunately. We do still have some ammo that we're limiting to 1 box a person. But yeah, nothing for rifles at the moment.
Ammo, yes. Guns, no.
Was kind of a follow-up to the shotgun ammo question.
Yeah.
Was wondering about 20-gauge rifled slugs.
No, what we put out here is literally what we got today.
Haven't had 20-gauge rifled slugs in months,
yeah,
unfortunately.
Been quite some time.
Trying to, just not available, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last quick one, which kind of got answered already, but it's called out. Cindy, you were asking about 30-06. If it's rifles, no. Ammo, yes. So there you go, Cindy.
Very good.
I'm still compiling some questions.
Yeah, that's fine. Take your time. No, we've got.
Do we have any
time
fun comments from any of our viewers? Any silly ones?
Let me pop back. It's been a minute since I've looked.
Sure. So we're talking. Sorry, Brian. Go ahead.
Just a quick thing. She didn't give a whole lot of details, but Tyler's grandma says he's doing great.
Good.
That's awesome.
Great to hear. Thanks, Marianne.
That's what we want, right?
We're talking about concealed carry, Pat.
Yeah.
What do you carry?
So generally, I carry a Glock 19. Right. That's my everyday carry gun. That is my boothang, if you will. I carry a Glock 19 Gen 4 in an appendix inside the waistband holster made by M3 Tactical Kydex. And this has been my main gun now for almost the whole time I've been working here, right? Because I got it here shortly after I started working here.
Yeah.
So I've been carrying this gun now for a year and a half, something like that. And I dig it, man. It's a super good concealment size handgun. I can get my whole hand onto the grip. A lot of aftermarket support in terms of, not grips. I'm sorry, magwells and sights and triggers and stuff like that, and tons of holsters available.
Fairly popular.
Yeah, you might have heard of the Glock 19, maybe.
Number one best-selling gun, period, over the past 20 years.
Right. Some people know about them.
No big deal.
Yeah, so that would be my main gun that I carry the most. I also carry a SIG P228, also a 9mm, hammer-fired gun. Same size-ish as the Glock 19.
Yeah, very close.
But a little heavier, right, because it's a metal gun. And I really like an all-metal pistol, man.
Sure.
There's just something about an all-metal handgun, especially a hammer-fired handgun, that I really dig it, man. So what about you? I know you carry a couple different guns, right?
Sure, yeah. So we're very similar in that we both like our Glocks. We both like our
hammer-fired guns.
Hammer-fired metal guns. So when I'm out and about, I typically carry a 43.
Yep.
A single stack 9mm. In the same, place that you carry.
Inside the waistband appendix.
My holster that I use for that is made by Spider Concealment. It's a sidecar holster. So it means I have, like the main compartment for my holster, just like Pat's, is for my gun. And then I have an offshoot on the side for an extra magazine. Okay.
Super handy, right? Because you got everything kind of co-located right there in the front.
Extra mag. So gun right here, extra mag right here. I can conceal it pretty well, and I'm not a fit guy. I can still carry up front like that. So if you're, like my similar build and you haven't, tried to conceal like that, and you're more of a small of the back or 3 o'clock guy, you might want to give that a try, because if I can do it, you can do it. Like that a lot. And we've talked about this multiple times, why, it's good to carry up front like that. There's so many reasons why. And yeah, the spare mag is right there for me. If I want to, I carry a third mag on my belt sometimes. I rarely carry my spare mag. Yeah. With,
that seems like a lot, honestly.
It's a lot of.
Seems like it would be a lot. And, I don't necessarily.
I do sometimes, though.
I don't necessarily perceive a need to have a third magazine. Now, I do think that.
Of course, you're carrying a larger gun. I'm carrying a single stack. So.
Right. But I was thinking even from, let's think about even like magazine capacity aside, right? Generally speaking, magazines are going to be the first part of that gun to start giving us problems, right? So magazines are not durable items, right? Magazines are expendable. So the gun itself is a durable item, right? Which means we're going to keep that thing for a good long time. We're going to replace parts as needed. And the gun itself is going to be, for lack of a better word, permanent, right? Not real permanent, but like semi-permanent, right? So with a magazine, though, it's a little bit different, right? Because for me individually, I got a bunch of Glock mags, I got a bunch of SIG mags, right? And the first time any of those magazines starts acting stupid, I'm going to throw it in the trash, right? I'm not gonna well, maybe I can just unbend the feed lips, or I can get a new magazine spring. I can change the follower. I can put a new base pad on it. Or I can put it in the garbage can.
Just hard, I think, for a lot of people to grasp, because sometimes mags are not very cheap, especially SIG. SIG mags are stupid. SIG mags are upwards of $40-$50.
I don't even want to tell you what I spent for my Metgar SIG mags. They were like $45 a piece or something like that. They're so expensive. I don't care.
But Pat is right. Okay, almost all the time.
I'm right more.
Once a magazine starts to give you issues, it's not worth your life, right?
Nope.
Because we're talking about concealed carry guns here, okay? Sure, if it was a gun that you only take to the range, that's all it's for, is just, like a range toy. Yeah, a couple malfunctions of your magazine here and there when you're at the range, not a big deal.
Could even be a positive thing, right? If you're training at the range and you're inducing some of those malfunctions with that magazine, right? Because now we're getting more repetitions on clearing those malfunctions, so that if they happen, spontaneously, then we'll have that kind of drilled into our head. We know how to clear that on a subconscious level, right? I can automatically do it kind of mindset. But is a $45 magazine and retaining it and saving that $45, is that worth my life, right? Absolutely not. So to me, and this is subjective. Josh appears to agree with me. Some of you guys out there may agree with me as well, especially my military guys, right? I have a feeling that my military guys are going to kind of get this mindset and this mentality of like durable items as opposed to expendable items, because we've been through it, right? We understand that like when this piece of equipment starts to become an issue, it's not something that we're going to mess around with. It's just something that we're going to get rid of it, and then we will find a replacement for it and drive on. And I think that as far as magazines go, that is the best approach for me, because I never have to worry about, oh, is this a good one or is this a bad one?
Yeah.
Right. I do number my mags with paint markers and stuff like that. But guess what? That paint marker comes off over time. So it's hard to keep track of that stuff. So if the magazine is acting stupid, it's gone. That's just me.
And if Dan were here, he'd say the same thing.
I'm willing to bet that he would. We've talked about that. He'd say something very similar. Maybe he'd even throw in more creative cuss words. Who knows? So speaking of concealed carry, I want to talk about
cussing you. You cussing me?
You cussing at me? If you're gonna point and cuss with somebody, you're not gonna cuss and point with me. You little cuss.
You little cuss.
So speaking of concealed carry, I want to talk to you. I want to tell you guys a little anecdote from the range today. All right. So today I was out on the range for a moment helping some folks. And when they were getting ready to leave their range bay, I saw a young lady who took her concealed carry handgun and she tried to get it into a holster that she was carrying in like a 4 o'clock type position. Now the holster, let's get into some specifics here, right? The gun was either a SIG P238 or a Springfield 911 or a Kimber Micro. It was something in that 1911
micro compact
family, right? No grip safety, manual safety. She carries it cocked and locked, right? Kind of deal. And she was carrying it cocked and locked. Magazine in, round in the chamber, the whole bit, which is the way that that's supposed to be done. Mm-hmm. But she was also carrying in a very awkward position where she couldn't actually tell what was going on with her holster. And specific to the holster, I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, she was carrying like a sticky holster. In like
not a hard.
Right. So it was not a firm, right? So she's carrying a holster, guys. For those of you who aren't familiar with what a sticky holster is, it's basically a little taco pocket made of frickin' like soft neoprene nylon type stuff, right? So when you take the gun out, what happens? The holster collapses on itself and it's not rigid. It doesn't retain its shape. So then when you go to get the gun into it, the way that you're supposed to do it is you're actually supposed to take the holster and separate it from the pocket that it's in, or take it out of whatever position you're carrying it in and put the gun into the holster on its own, and then put everything back together as a unit. And I don't think that she knew that. And I don't think that the gentleman that she was with, her husband or whomever he might have been, I don't think he knew that necessarily either. So what I saw was her like fighting to get this gun between her belt and her body and into this holster into a position that she couldn't see. And I approached her and I said, Miss, I'm going to have to ask you to stop that. And like what I'm watching you do right now is literally how people shoot themselves every day of the week. And I said, if you can't see a clear path between your holster and the gun, you've got a problem. Either your holster is in a bad position, or you need to take the holster off and you need to visually see a clear path for that thing to go into the holster. And I brought up an accidental shooting that we're familiar with that happened not too long ago that we think might have been a holster-related incident. Mm-hmm.
Especially with a soft holster.
With a soft holster, right? And I specifically said to her, that is how people have accidents, when they can't see a clear pathway for the gun to go into the holster, right? So she came off the range and she was a little bit shaken up, and I guess, was it Joe that talked to her? Or was it you? Yeah,
it wasn't me.
So one of our other management guys here, Josiah, he was like, hey, is everything okay? Pat mentioned he had spoken to you on the range, and she was like, oh, yeah. And I guess she was a little bit shaken up from what I was told, and she was on the verge of tears. And it wasn't that I had done anything wrong, but when I told her that that's how people potentially shoot and injure and maybe even kill themselves, I think that was a bit jarring for her. And as you know, I'm not Willy Wonka, right? I am not here to sugarcoat a goddamn thing, right? That's not my deal. So if you're doing something that's going to cause you or somebody else to get shot, I'm going to tell you.
You are here to peppercoat.
Right. Yeah, I'm here to make it spicy. No, I'm here to like make sure that you guys know the real deal, right? So,
in a nice way, but to the point.
Right. But I'm definitely not going to dance around the issue, right? If you're doing something that's dangerous to you or somebody else, then I'm going to point it out, and I'm going to do it in a way that's courteous, and hopefully it doesn't make you feel upset. And when Josie said that she felt a little bit jarred by that, or that was, something that made her, she was sensitive to it, I guess. And it made me feel like I was a little bit insensitive to her. Like maybe I was a little bit, too forthcoming, I guess, with some of that information.
Could you imagine if you hadn't said that?
Well, to me, this concealed carry stuff, guys, it is like life or death, right? Like I carry a lethal force instrument with me every single day. And I carry it specifically in case I need it to protect my own life, right? But I also am aware that if I'm negligent in any way, then I could potentially end my own life with that same tool. And I want you guys to know that same stuff, right? Because that's important, that we never take our eye off of the ball, I guess. Yep. So, when you guys are here and, we're having some sort of a heart-to-heart chat like that, or something of that nature, please don't ever take it personally, and don't ever think that, we're trying to belittle or insult or demean or degrade or anything of that nature. And I would never try and approach a situation that way. But I do want to make sure that you guys have the right information so that we can keep you guys safe. And I even told the young lady, I'm just worried that you're going to injure yourself potentially, and I don't want to see that happen, right? So
yes,
safety is always first, guys, and that comes down to having a good plan, right? Having a solid plan when it comes to this concealed carry stuff makes all the difference. And so if you don't know how to plan for some of that stuff, that's one of the things we want to cover in this show and hopefully answer some good questions for you guys. With that in mind, Brian, have you compiled some of those good questions?
We've got a lot of them. I don't know that we'll get through them tonight, honestly.
Hey,
so
we're going to try, guys.
We're gonna get through as many as we can get.
Thank you all.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for asking the questions, for sure, and for trusting us to try and give you some good info. Let's get after it.
I think this one came from, I'm turning the camera on myself.
Yeah, do it.
I believe this one came from the earlier post. If not, I apologize. But it was asked by Daniel S. He's saying, what do you guys think of the laser training bullets? Are they a gimmick or a good thing? And I know what you're going to say about that.
Oh, I think they're legit, man. Anything that you can do to enhance your dry fire training, right? Anything that I can do to take my dry fire training from no kind of downrange feedback that I can discern to some kind of downrange feedback that's going to help me to diagnose what's going on with my dry fire practice. That is another layer that I can peel back from that onion, right? And that is another bit of information that I can use in my training to help me become more proficient.
Definitely.
And a little plug for the smokeless range system here.
Yeah, we do have the ability, guys, to use some of those dry fire training aid type things. And I would be really interested to do some. I'm gonna get some video content one of these days of just us working in there with it. And
on the smokeless range,
the smokeless range.
For sure, guys, especially at a time like this when ammo is hard to find and very expensive. That's one of the best things that you can do is buy one of those laser training aids. There's a lot of them out there. Yeah, so 100% do it.
We all know that dry fire training on its own can be kind of boring and dry, and I think that's why a lot of us end up skipping it more often than what we should. And I've been guilty of that stuff myself, guys. I love to shoot, right? I do not really like to dry fire. I like it, but it doesn't
not the same.
Doesn't really move the needle for me in the same way, right?
Sure.
So it
is very helpful though.
It's beneficial,
especially
right?
if you're new.
Yeah, I think any of us really, if you're habitual about that stuff, I think you can learn a lot from dry fire, and I think you can do even more learning with one of those laser trainers, and especially if you can integrate it with the Mantis system or a smokeless range type setup, or anything like that.
Yep.
There's a lot of apps out there. Yeah, do some research, guys. Any dry fire training aids that you guys can find out there that will allow you to use your own gun in a more kind of advanced way, I guess, than just sitting there pressing the trigger and racking the slide, might be worth trying.
Cool. All
right, another one, which is kind of potentially a deep topic, but we'll at least touch on it. Sure. Come from the earlier post. Kenneth B asked, how concealed is concealed? How much does the gun have to be hidden to not cause issues?
I mean, I guess that depends largely on where you are and what you're doing and who's around you, right? Because printing, I always say that printing isn't an issue generally.
Until it is.
But exactly, right? But that's the thing is like if I'm printing in the wrong place and the wrong person is around me and they happen to be switched on and paying attention and they become
anti-gun
aware of it, right? And they're, well, how likely is it they're going to be switched on and anti-gun? Let's be perfectly clear about that. But let's say that there's two people. One is switched on, one's anti-gun, and they're together, right?
Okay.
The switched on one's going to notice the gun. The anti-gun one's going to start flipping out, and now I've got some sort of an issue. But in all seriousness, guys, it's not a problem unless and until it becomes a problem, right? So by law, as long as the butt of the gun is covered, the gun is concealed. And when I say covered, I mean like, believe it or not, I don't know how well you can see. This is pretty pronounced printing that I'm doing right now.
You can see it.
This is a concealed handgun. You got it on the camera there, Brian?
Yep.
That is printing like I can't believe, and that is a concealed handgun by law, right? So this is not concealed. Though.
Right. But what the point is that nobody knows that you have it.
Right.
That's the point. So to answer it in a short way, as concealed as humanly possible.
As concealed as you can get it.
To where you can still access it.
And you can still get your hand on it, yeah. Try not to draw attention to it, right? Make your best effort, but don't kill yourself trying to conceal your gun, I guess.
All right. This one, I don't remember where this one came from Kai. I believe that's how it's pronounced.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys tested or used any concealed carry clothing, jackets, hoodies, etc.? Pros and cons if you have.
I personally have not. I've never really felt the need, I guess. I'm sure that some of those products out there are great. I'm familiar with them. I know that there is a couple companies making like some concealed carry, like basketball short type deals. I know 9 Line Apparel makes a concealed carry jacket. I know there are some hoodies and things like that out there. I've never really felt the need to use any of those products because I do find that they're a little bit overpriced in some cases, but B,
you've already got your holster.
Right. If you have a good holster and a good belt, like I don't necessarily want to have too many options, right? I want to keep everything generally the same or similar across the board, right? Because I don't want to try to outsmart myself. I'm not that what's the word I'm looking for?
Diverse, or
I'm just not that comfortable, I guess, changing things all of the time. I'm a creature of habit. I want my gun to be in the same spot.
I agree.
When I go to get it, I want it to be there. I don't want to try to confuse myself. I get confused enough without doing it intentionally.
Under duress, you don't want to be thinking.
Right. Yeah. I want to take as much mental processing power out of this situation as possible, and I want everything to happen on a subconscious level. Mm-hmm. And when I'm carrying my gun appendix, guess what? I know where it is.
Yeah. And that's why I'm not a guy that has 4 or 5, like different carry guns. There's a lot of guys out there that are like, which one am I going to carry today? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Can't do that.
I am not like that. For me, I have one carry gun. Everything else to me should be full sized.
Right.
And a lot of people carry, something that already is full size. So, although 19 would be considered a compact.
Yeah, I mean,
it's on the full size.
It's a handgun, right?
I've got one, like that I would consider smaller, like to conceal carry. Everything else for me, there's no point in getting another one. So everything else that I buy as far as like handguns go I go full sized.
Yeah.
I'm just not about having multiple different concealed carry options because, again, you know, if I'm really good with one option, I don't want to have one, you know, that has no safety and one maybe that has a thumb safety, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know?
I don't have to decock my Glock, right? But I don't want to forget to decock my SIG because I'm used to not decocking the Glock kind of thing. So, you know, different strokes for different folks. But to me, just, you know, try to simplify all of that stuff as much as possible. And if you have a good holster, don't start switching around to a hoodie and a jacket and a this and a that. Do what works for you and stick with it. Keep it simple.
Let me jump in real quick. I have a couple things. First of all, I just want to say goodnight to Wesley. Good night, Wesley.
Yep.
Daddy loves
important.
you. Second of all, I want to say congratulations to Mia and Kevin for having their lovely baby last night, Lena Claire.
Our friends.
Congratulations, guys.
Excellent. Yep.
Very, very good friends of ours. We love them, and congrats. Third of all, I want to say thank you to Ralph and Rosie's. Mike and Kelly, you guys are great. Thank you for the pizza. And Ralph and Rosie's, if you didn't know, Ralph and Rosie's is the official pizza of the Firing Pin.
I didn't know that, but it
is
good.
Ralph and Rosie's is the official pizzeria of TFP.
And they make a really, I mean, how much of that stuff do we eat in a week? Like,
I don't want to know.
Couple of times,
I don't want to know.
Couple of times a week, somebody is going, hey, Josh, you need a slice? I'm about to go over to Ralph's real quick. Couple times a week that happens. So yes, we love them over there. The food is excellent. They're very, very good to us, and great small business here locally in Bergen. So thank you guys very much.
All right. Gary, I believe this came from the earlier post, asks thoughts on magnetic gun mounts, not only just for like under a table, but also for a vehicle, specifically the ones you put below a steering wheel. Are they even legal, presumably, in the car in New York?
That I really don't know how to answer the legality question. I'd have to look into that. So I don't want to, and I'm not a lawyer, so I don't want to tell you yes or no on the legality thing.
I want to say that it has to be on your body if it's going to be loaded.
If it's going to be, if you're carrying a concealed firearm, my instinct is to also say that by law, it's supposed to be concealed on your person. Otherwise, you would treat it like you would treat a long gun in the car. You would have it unloaded and separated from your ammunition. But don't hold me to account on that because I genuinely don't know the exact correct answer. So consult a lawyer, I guess, would be one way to get better info on that. As far as those gun-mounted solutions generally, my problem with those is, I have two main concerns. One, if you get into some sort of a very violent car accident, all right, which does happen, can happen, those magnets, you know, may or may not even stay in place inside of the car themselves, let alone keep the gun securely in place. And I think one of the last items that I want just sailing around my car when it's rolling into a ditch is a handgun, a loaded handgun in specific, right? So I think probably not my favorite idea there. I understand the mindset that it comes from of quick access.
Sort of gimmicky, I think.
Seems kind of gimmicky, and it seems like a good way for somebody to get themselves in trouble because they forgot their gun in their car, or they just keep their gun there in their car because they think it's cool to have a gun in their car, and then they leave it there and the car gets broken into, and now the gun gets stolen potentially, and now they're liable for it because it gets used in some sort of a crime.
I don't like that when they show those ads, and we've all seen them. They're racking it and not in a holster, you know, like
your
the
finger
the
trigger's not covered, right? Yeah.
First of all, you should have a round in the chamber already.
Right. Why am I racking
all,
this thing?
If it's not on your body, it should be in a holster or a safe or
trigger guard has to be covered, right? If I've got a magazine in my pistol,
that's huge.
If I even if I know, and I say no because things change, guys, right? Like we forget stuff all the time. If I know that I have an empty chamber and I've got a magazine in my pistol, right? Why am I going to take that pistol out of my holster and have it exposed as far as like the trigger guard goes and everything else? There's so many things that could go wrong there. I don't perceive enough of a benefit to justify all of the bad things that could potentially happen as a result of using that piece of equipment. I'm a hard no on that. I would never use it.
Same. I would say that's more of, for lack of a better term, a mall ninja product.
Yeah, that's definitely for like the tactical, right? I would say that is very much a product for the uninitiated to get themselves into trouble.
So what's a better way that we can do that, right? They make many different kinds of like safes that are made specifically for your car.
Mm-hmm.
Even one of those like stop ones where they have like 4 or 5 different buttons on the side of the stop box.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, have you seen one of those? Those are pretty cheap.
Right.
Those I believe you can wrap around your car.
Yep.
But like we mentioned on the last live stream, I believe, I think that we talked about this. There's 2 or 3 different companies that make a safe that goes in the center console of your car.
Yep.
So as soon as you open up your center console, there's a safe that you either type in a code or scan your fingerprint or whatever, that pops open, your gun goes right in there. That's probably one of the best things to do. What I do, because, you know, either I have my gun on me here or I wear my gun, you know, like outside the waistband when I'm here at work. When I leave, this just sits next to me, you know, in the seat inside the holster, you know.
And at least then the trigger guard is covered up. So, you
don't normally stop anywhere between here and home.
Right.
If I do carry a smaller safe in my car. I will lock it up in there.
Yeah. So there's better options out there, guys, for you. And I think that those products to close it out, it's a solution looking for a problem.
All right. John DeWitt put this one up on the post earlier.
Yep.
Targeted more specifically for the kind of person who's wearing 511 pants, grunt style shirt, Blue Lives Matter hat, glass stickers on the back of the truck. What kind of things can you avoid dressing and doing to avoid screaming that I'm carrying?
I mean, all of the stuff that you just mentioned, right, is pretty much a dead giveaway. So
we've all done that too. I
wear a contractor hat, right, with a patch on the front a lot of times. I wear a fair number of grunt style t-shirts. I don't wear a lot of like the super tactical guy, like Cry Precision or 511 tactical pants and stuff like that. My pants tend to be more ordinary, I guess.
I'd say for the most part around this area, no matter what you do, you know, like a gun guy is going to be able to pick out another gun guy for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't want to make that, you know, like a hard and fast rule, but for the most part, my Gundar, that's gun radar,
right,
is, you know, always.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like I'm pretty good at that. And I bet if we had, you know, to sit here and do a lineup of people that we thought were potentially carrying guns, I bet I would get most of them right. So there's other giveaways, I guess, that we could, there's other ways that you could tip your hand on that without necessarily wearing any of the aforementioned items. But I would say, yeah, specifically, right, don't put a bunch of stickers and stuff on your car to be advertising. That's a good way. You know, mix up the wardrobe, wear a cool Letterkenny t-shirt. Sometimes don't wear the grunt style one all the time. You know, you just listed all of the ways, John, that somebody would potentially give themselves away. So I feel like you already kind of know what the answer is, right? Just try to be more of like that gray man.
And it's not a big deal either. I mean, it's your right to do that, you know.
Well, and
it's not like it's going to get you in any kind of trouble if you do dress
like a verbal sparring match to somebody, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And the other thing too, I would say is like, in all likelihood, if somebody has reason to suspect that you're carrying a gun, and you're not conducting yourself like some kind of buffoon, that might not necessarily be a bad thing. I'm not saying that we should be puffing out our chest and saying, I carry a gun, so watch out. But at the same time, like, if I'm trying to make myself appear like less of a victim, looking like somebody who might be carrying a gun, like, let's be honest, Josh, when you look at me, do I look like I'm not carrying? Like, if I saw me, I would be like, that dude's got
Pat's
2 guns.
Carrying at least 3 guns.
Right. I got guns all the time, right? So no matter what, that's just the way it goes.
One thing that I thought of when I first started carrying, and I'm a larger guy, as you guys probably on stream can figure out from you see me behind the counter. So I often have to wear like an open button-down shirt in order to conceal really anything. So what I do is I try to keep that wardrobe consistent, even if I'm out and about doing anything. If I don't have it on me, or if I do, I always it's consistent. So if I am, they're like, oh, he changed into a big overshirt. What is he doing?
Sure.
Right.
So consistency of wardrobe could help camouflage it. So to speak.
Yeah.
Here's another thing too, though, guys. Like, I know that a lot of us like to think the best of other people around us. Nobody's paying attention, guys. I'm here to tell you the stupid crap I see happening just around here on a day in, day out basis. I can promise you, nobody's paying attention 85 or 90% of the time to who you are and what you're doing. So the likelihood of somebody picking you out of a lineup and saying this dude is wearing a gun is low, unless it's somebody that is A, looking for a victim, or B, they're another gun guy that's actually observant and they're paying attention to what's going on around them.
Yeah. Right.
So I would say that the odds of somebody like singling you out, relatively small, guys. People aren't that smart.
Can we, before we hop into another question, I've been seeing some stuff here and there. We have something to give away tonight, right?
Oh, yes. We do have a
believe
giveaway.
We've gotten a couple comments from one of our youngest viewers out there,
Oh, really?
John. Yeah. I think he's watching with his dad right now.
Okay.
So I think we should choose
The giveaway winner?
I think we should choose Little John for the 410 shotgun.
Our youngest viewer.
He is
I like it.
He is our youngest viewer. He watched the stream last time, I know,
Yeah?
because I got the comment on my live stream here, and I believe I saw it come through that he posted a nice little picture saying hi.
Cool.
Tonight I saw it come through on mine. I don't know if you saw it over there, Brian. But yeah, ATI 410 bore. This bad boy is going out to our youngest viewer,
I like it.
John Daniel, JD.
JD, winner of a
He's a
410
fan.
bore shotgun. Well,
He's a fan. Now,
thanks for your support.
from
John.
what I hear, he just turned 2, so his mom or dad will have to come get it. But
Yeah, I don't think you can fill out the next check on that one, but
yeah,
that's all right.
probably wouldn't even pass anyways.
Yeah,
Probably get denied.
can't even spell his name, so there's
So-
that.
Congratulations, little guy. Thanks for watching our posts. We love it. We love it when we see, like the younger generations getting into this kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next week, we're going to be giving away some 9mm ammo and a calendar.
Oh, a calendar too?
Yeah. So the whole month, we're giving away stuff. Pretty cool. So, John, you won the single shot 410. Tell your mom and dad. Come get it for me.
Go pick
Thanks
up
for
my stuff.
being our youngest viewer. You're the man.
That's very cool. Start them young. That's what I always say.
All right. Anthony Palumbo put this one up on the earlier post.
Yeah, Anthony, what's up, buddy?
It's actually kind of an interesting one.
Thanks for the beer.
Oh, yeah, he mentioned he's glad to see you guys getting into the stouts.
Thank
He did
you.
mention that. So he's saying, what are your thoughts on 9mm for a go bag? He's apparently looking at a copper base and takedown bag, equipping it with a Ruger PBC 9, a Glock 19, because they share the same mag.
Yeah.
To both carbine and pistol capacity with the same mag,
Yeah.
or a really stuff stick the fan type of situation.
I think that's an excellent mindset. I think those are both excellent pieces of equipment, and I think that having cross compatibility of magazines for those two things is a pretty big deal. Something to keep in mind, though, like we were saying earlier, magazines are obviously always our first point of failure on those magazine-fed firearms, both of them in this case. So spare magazines are going to become potentially very important. So if I had 2 guns, I would want to make sure I had 2 magazines probably for each as a minimum starting point, and then add from there. Also, earlier we started down this road of spare magazines, and Josh mentioned that sometimes he carries the 2 and sometimes he'll carry a 3rd. And we started to talk and we got a little sidetracked. I don't necessarily perceive the need to carry a 3rd magazine, but I do always want to have a secondary magazine, even if I'm not worried about running out of ammunition, because if my first magazine starts, failing to feed or whatever, I start to have some issues with the reliability of my pistol. First thing that I am likely to try is to go ahead and swap that magazine out so that I can get more bullets going down range more quickly to potentially solve that problem. So if I do have to have 2 of those guns that accept the same magazine, I want to make sure I have enough magazines to support, those kinds of issues as they arise.
I'm with you.
Anything to add on that?
No, I agree wholeheartedly.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
So that answered that for you, Anthony.
Got a lot of comments.
Good. I like it.
There's over 200 comments. I just looked.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's been
Bad. They don't like us. They want us to stop.
Mostly negative.
Yeah.
Mostly, where's Brandon? Where's Tyler?
Yeah.
Why are the ugly bearded guys on?
What's this
I
little
just got rid
bearded
of my
dude
beard.
doing there?
Just got rid of my beard last night, unfortunately.
We'll take some more, buddy. What you got?
And we got plenty. So next one is Dan S. Posted this one to the question earlier.
Yep.
Are there unconventional carry methods you guys have had work for you in the past, such as like a belly band, ankle holsters, armpit? And then follow-up is appendix dangerous? As a bigger guy, it's not comfortable for him. Any type of holsters that might help with that other than just getting on a diet?
Well, I don't know if I've ever said just lose some weight there, fella. That would be very rude if I said that. No, so
There's options.
Yeah, there are definitely options out there. There are hybrid holsters that have more comfortable backing, a leather or a nylon or a neoprene. So Crossbreed makes holsters like that. Alien Gear makes holsters like that.
Just Holster, it has one that's
Just Holster, it's
very
got a hybrid that's pretty nice.
And then one of the other ones that I've seen that a lot of heavier guys is called a Nate Squared.
Okay, yep, I've heard of those.
Squared Tactical. Those are super comfy.
Yep.
Super comfy.
Another one that is U.S. made right in Texas and super cool holster designs are from VersaCarry. If you guys don't know about VersaCarry is actually like a hybrid holster idea, but some of their holsters are actually just a Kydex shell inside of a leather exterior. So you have some little accents, peeking through almost of Kydex, and maybe it's got a cool carbon fiber look to it. But then on the outside of the holster is actually good, full grain leather kind of.
The VersaCarry, correct me if I'm wrong, that's the deep concealment one?
They have a couple of different models.
Is that the one where you pull up on the tab?
No. That's not the one that
what am I thinking of?
I don't recall what that thing is, but stay away from that. I don't recommend that.
Think of what that one's called.
I'm not sure. Maybe we can get somebody that has a computer in front of them. Somebody get on the Google machine, please, and find out what that silly holster that goes all the way down your pants is, and then don't ever buy one.
I was looking at them a while back. I can't remember what they are because I know exactly the one you guys are talking about.
I thought it was the VersaCarry. No, you're talking. They make mostly leather ones, right?
Yeah. They're super cool looking.
A lot of stuff
holsters.
that's outside the waistband.
A lot of stuff that's more outside the waistband mindset. Yeah, and it's kind of like a crossbreed type deal.
Are they also the minimalist holster with the rod that goes inside your barrel, or no?
I don't know if that's one
Is
of
that a
their designs.
VersaCarry
I'd have to look. I would have to check it out. VersaCarry, I actually got
You know what
familiar
I'm
with
talking
them.
about, though, right?
I'm familiar with those kinds of designs. I'm just not sure if VersaCarry makes one. I got familiar with
Urban
VersaCarry. Say again?
Urban Carry.
Urban Carry.
Carry. There it is. Yep.
Yeah.
So
That's the deep concealment.
SHOT Show 2018 is where I learned about, or 2019, excuse me, is where I.
No, 2018.
Yeah, it was 2018. Yeah. That's where I learned about the VersaCarry holsters, and they're super nice folks. I got a chance to talk to them.
Time.
Yeah, right. And yeah, but I enjoy their product lines, and I think that it's a cool company as well. So I would check them out if you're looking for something kind of comfy. And then as far as is appendix carry dangerous, that was another kind of thing that I wanted to touch on. No, appendix carry is no more dangerous than any other sort of carry, and I'll tell you why. So if I was carrying my gun at the 3 o'clock, Josh, when I draw my gun, right, I probably don't need to flag myself in order to draw my gun. But when I go to reholster my gun, in all likelihood, at some point, the muzzle is going to intersect with my body. Yeah. Right? At some point in time. If I was carrying it 3 o'clock. Kind of unavoidable. It's almost impossible, with most holsters, unless I'm going to separate the holster from my body and do one of these. And now I can make sure that the muzzle never intersects with my body, right? But outside of doing something like that, right, in all likelihood, I am going to flag myself at some point in time, whether I'm unholstering my gun or holstering my gun, right? So we say never allow your muzzle to cover anything you're not willing to destroy or put a bullet into, right? In theory, that's great. In practice, it does not work, because every single time I put my gun into my holster, I promise you, I point my gun right at something I am decidedly unwilling to destroy or put a bullet into, right? So with that in mind,
I'm sure April would agree.
Right. I'm sure most of us would agree that nobody wants that to happen to themselves or somebody else, right? So with that in mind, what we do in practice and what we want to do, right? But if I am always seeing a gun in the holster and I'm using appropriate trigger finger discipline and my muzzle management is as good as I can make it, meaning that when I am reholstering my gun, I kind of, do the little rock forward so I can get the muzzle at least oriented out away from my body, right? I can do a lot of things to kind of mitigate some of those risks, right? So no, I don't perceive any more danger with appendix carry than I do with any other method of carry. Yeah. Because I use appropriate muzzle management and I use good trigger finger discipline and I look my gun into my holster.
Those are
the things that I need to do to avoid shooting myself.
Exactly. Right? Those are the ways that you make any kind of carry safe. You look the gun into the holster so that any kind of clothing doesn't get caught inside of your trigger guard, especially those of you, that carry something striker fired with no manual safety, right?
Or if you don't have a striker control device on the back of your slide or anything like that. But again, guys, we should be looking to see a clear path between the gun and the holster. You're never going to convince me that there's some other thing that we should be doing besides looking that gun into the holster. Right. If I've made the determination that I can put my gun away, I'm not using it for fighting, right? So if I'm not fighting with my gun and I can put it away, then I have enough time to look and see that I'm not going to harm myself. Right?
I'll tell you what I don't like to see is a lot of guys that, are doing like the one round shot and they're trying to holster as fast as they can. Okay, that's one of my biggest qualms with Instructor Zero, okay? One of my biggest personal qualms with him is that's what he does. You will never have to reholster your gun quickly.
There's almost no situation that could come up that I would be in a hurry to reholster my gun.
Does it look cool for the gram? To some people, it might. To me, it doesn't.
To me, it looks terrible on the gram. Because if I see you reholstering the gun in a hurry, I'm like, what happened to reholster reluctantly, fella? What happened to
reluctantly? Yes.
Reluctantly reholster,
because
right?
If you are in a shooting, once
the gun has come out, once we've already gotten loud out here, right? The genie's out of the bottle. I'm not in a hurry to put the gun away now, right? The gun can stay right where it is.
Could be more threats coming from over there, from behind you.
I've already taken it out.
Wherever.
We've already used it. The presence of the gun is established now, right? Unless and until I need to put it away, I'm not, or until I know it's safe to put it away, I don't want to put it away.
Right.
So
You're never going to have to reholster quickly.
no.
Keep that in mind.
So yeah, just
And please don't. Please don't reholster quickly.
yeah, don't be the guy that's in such a hurry to slam that thing back into the holster.
Pat, you have a name for stuff like that, right? Range,
Theatrics.
masturbation.
Yeah.
Pat calls that range masturbation.
I do
right?
call that range masturbation, and I hate it. I really don't like anything that is done on the range that doesn't have a purpose, right? Here's my rules of training. Josh, are you ready?
Yes. So ready.
I don't do anything without a reason, and I don't make up reasons to do things. Oh, and I don't do anything in training that I can't do safely, because if I can't do it safely, it's not worth doing.
Yep.
Those are pretty much my, my main.
Write those down. Take them to the bank.
Don't do shit for no
Next.
reason. Don't make up reasons to do shit.
How you like
All right,
that?
I was just getting distracted by some off-color comments on the Facebook page. I'm going to read aloud.
Uh-oh. But I love off-color comments.
You can read them after.
Our viewership,
No.
for shame.
Not from Anthony Palumbo.
Actually, no, it wasn't.
Okay.
It was my wife, wasn't it?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, but still another one of our top viewers.
Okay, good.
Gotcha.
So this one, you guys, I don't know how much you might be able to speak to, but Pat is, working with a lot of women, teaching them the beginnings of concealment. We have some input for this.
Yep.
Earlier on the post, Melanie asked, concealed carry options for women. Do you have a particular company you find a lot of your students enjoy? It's going to vary person to person, but what can you give her?
I would say, as far as if I were to pick, like one company that has done a lot for women as far as where and how to conceal, flashbang holsters.
Okay.
Flashbang holsters, yeah.
That's an interesting one. I'm gonna have to check into some of their stuff.
So they, as you may or may not know,
I don't know
are one of the first ones to make the one that goes right
Like
here
yeah.
and like hooks to your
Clips to the
bra.
Yeah.
That's why they call it the flash
Okay. Yeah.
bang
Got-
holster.
I like that. That's
Yes.
pretty cool.
So check them out. They have lots of different options, from like the bra holsters, which can be worn multiple different ways.
Right.
Right here, here, over like in here.
Yep.
Multiple different ways. They make, what's the word?
The belly band.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the
they
belly
have
bands.
those, which is what Shannon uses. You can wear that with pretty much anything, like
Right.
yoga pants and whatnot. But yeah, I would, if you're looking for holsters that are made specifically for women, I would definitely.
Yeah, that's a great one. Unfortunately for the women's, I mean, I do work with a fair number of ladies, and that's true. But I'm not like real deep in the weeds as far as like all of the different holster companies that are out there for you folks. I'm familiar with some like Crossbreed and Alien Gear that makes some of those more hybrid type models, which a lot of ladies find more comfortable to wear because they've got some flexibility to them. I also always recommend for ladies a holster that comes with something called an ulti-clip. Ulti-clips are made from metal and they clip onto fabric as opposed to needing like an overhook type idea for a belt.
Right.
So on, a lot of your belt mounted type holsters like mine, you're going to see what we call an overhook, right? And that overhook literally just goes over top of your belt and it hooks underneath so that when you go to draw the gun out of the holster, it, stays put in there. And you can get holsters that are similar to mine in that they're made from Kydex and they have very minimalist type designs, but instead of having an overhook that would require the use of a belt, they have an ulti-clip, that will go and clamp right onto some yoga pants or a skirt.
So you clamp it on.
Clamp it and then you close it.
Close it much, I would say, sort of like an ammo can.
Yes.
How you hook it and then you push and you
push
latch
down and it latches closed, and it really clamps down very well. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's a very good product, and even for them, they have multiple different kinds of ulti-clips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are multiple different kinds of ulti-clips out there. Blade Tech.
Cool.
Blade Tech makes a holster design called the Total Eclipse, and the Total Eclipse is a pretty neat Kydex holster because it can be reconfigured in multiple different ways: inside the waistband, outside the waistband, pancake style. It is an all Kydex holster, but it's very, very easy to reconfigure it for your specific use. And when I say reconfigure, I mean it's ambidextrous, left side, right side, inside the waistband, outside the waistband, pancake, multiple different ways you can use it. Raven Concealment, they make another really great, they make another really great multi-use holster. And I think for ladies, one of the biggest problems is you guys don't always wear belts. So having something that I can use, if I have a belt, maybe I can reconfigure it. And if I'm not wearing a belt, maybe I can do, something a little bit different. So having one holster that gives you multiple different options might be the way to go. And beyond that, I suggest getting with some sort of well-armed women's group like the Genesee Valley well-armed women's group that used to and hopefully will again be meeting here regularly. And those ladies are incredibly knowledgeable about all of the above. So,
Pat, I can't help but notice that you are not wearing a belt.
That is incorrect. I am wearing a belt today.
You are wearing a belt. Okay. I just couldn't see it.
Yeah.
It blended right in.
Blends right
What's
in.
your belt of choice?
So belt of choice, I have a few different ones that I use. This one happens to be just my high speed gear inner belt from my competition holster. And
gotcha.
That works really, really well because it's got Velcro on the outside. So if I needed to put my range belt on today to go out and do some stuff out on the range or whatever,
right,
I could wear that over the top. When I'm not wearing that, I can do just my regular concealed carry rig, which I'm doing now.
Yep.
So I have a couple of those. I also have a 511 tactical belt with it's kind of like a riggers type belt.
Gotcha.
And I also have a I forget the brand name, but I have another belt that's called like the Range Master or something like that. And it's like a 1.5 inch, rigger type belt with the D-ring in the front. So I actually have a bunch of different belts. I haven't found my belt of choice yet. I just have different ones for, different occasions kind of deal.
I would say that my everyday belt, it's got to be my Bigfoot gun belt.
Yeah, a lot of guys like the steel core.
Every day when I'm out and about, I like those a lot. And so does Mr. Brian Kirby. If you guys want to learn more about the Bigfoot gun belt, go to Take Aim TV's YouTube page.
Brian Kirby's posted a video about the Bigfoot belts.
Good.
My man.
It's right there in the comments. Honestly, that's one of the reasons why I bought one, was because Brian did such a nice job on that video. He does a great job on all of his videos.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So that's what I have. I've been rocking it for almost 2 years, I want to say.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years. It does have steel inside of it, and it's a great belt. And I wear it every day. I've had it for 2 years. There's almost no signs of wear.
Yep.
They're not cheap. It was like $75, but I spent that because I plan on having this belt for a long time. You know? And that's one of the things that I don't mind spending extra on. It's like me with my boots. I don't mind paying $200 for boots,
because you're going to have them for 3 or 4 years and you're going to be walking really far, and having cold feet when you're out hunting really sucks.
Yeah.
So
boots are something that I don't like to skimp on.
Yeah.
Same goes for my belt or anything that I'm going to use daily, right?
Agreed.
Buy once, cry once.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep searching. Unfortunately, I'm hunting for the best belt out there. I would like to have one belt that this is my this is my belt. The problem is that I don't always want to just wear a nylon, like, riggers style belt or tactical type belt or whatever, because I'm not always doing, my job, or I'm not always shooting, right? I have other things that I want to be out doing sometimes, and maybe I would wear a leather belt to do them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not really sure. I'm glad I got Josh though, because he can tell you about the Bigfoot. So, carry in other state permits, how to obtain. Well, we have a multi-state course here that is good for Florida non-resident permits. And that will enable you to carry, instead of in 26 states like you can currently with your New York State pistol permit, it will enable you to carry in some other states that you currently are not authorized to carry in, i.e. Florida, Georgia, New Mexico, Wyoming, Nebraska, North Dakota, and Nevada.
It gains you roughly 12 states.
Yeah, and West Virginia. So yeah, you gain a lot of states when you take the Florida permit course. Some other places also offer the Utah class. We don't offer the Utah class. The reason we don't offer the Utah class here is very, very simple. If you took the Florida class and then you were to take the Utah class, first of all, Utah already recognizes your New York State permit. So you don't need a Utah permit to carry in Utah. But what you would be able to do is carry in the state of Washington, because Washington recognizes out-of-state Utah permits.
And that's the only state that you can.
That is
by taking
literally
Utah
the only state that you would gain.
In conjunction with Florida. So that's why
unless you're specifically going to Washington State, what do you care?
Anybody else that teaches Utah and Florida, it's a money grab.
Yeah, generally that's, it's just somebody that's trying to make a little bit of extra cash.
We do our next Florida class is coming up on the 12th, which is this Saturday. Yeah. So generally when we run these, we like to have at least 4 to 5 people in the class. We've only got 2 people signed up right now. So if you are watching this live stream and you would like to get your Florida non-resident handgun permit, and you're available this Saturday
from 3 to 6:30
from 3 to 6:30 or so, which we might change that around a little bit to 2:30 to 6, but we also need the range all to ourselves. So that's why we stagger that a little bit. If you want to sign up, we would love to have you, or else we're going to have to call the 2 people that are signed up and reschedule them for the next one.
Yeah.
So we got to have so many, to make sense for us
to run it.
Yeah, to run the class. So that class is $75.
And then when you apply to the state of Florida, you actually have to send them $97 as well.
Yeah, you got to pay Florida $97 for the permit, and that's good for 7 years.
The great thing about our class, I'm not sure how some of the other folks out there doing the same class. I'm not sure why how some of the other folks are doing it. But when you do our class, you actually get all of not only the information that you need, but you also get like the fingerprint card and the Florida State application, and all of that stuff is included with the class. So when you walk out of our facility, not only do you have your certificate in your hand, but you know all of the next steps that you need to complete in order to obtain that Florida permit, and you have all the paperwork that needs to be filled out. So you just go ahead and execute on that, and then send it off to Florida Department of I want to say Agriculture.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Florida Department of Agriculture, and then they will, have your permit on whatever their timeline is.
Cool. Here's another one, Pat.
So
why did lasers fall out of favor?
Well, there's a few different reasons that I can cite to you.
I would say that they didn't really, but there's still a lot of lasers out there. They're still out there, and a lot of people like them a lot. And but there's a few things that a lot of people may not think about with regards to lasers when you're out and about on an everyday carry situation.
Right.
Right.
So lasers, right? they're great if we can see them, right? But if I have a red laser and it's daylight and I have to project that laser onto a target in a bright environment, in all likelihood, I'm not going to be able to see that laser all that well. So the red lasers, that was kind of an issue. And then green lasers came along and kind of took care of that to some extent. But the problem with green lasers is they're so much more expensive to produce and buy than red lasers. So even though they're more visible, they're also more expensive. So cost is, a factor. Visibility is another factor. Another thing is lasers actually work in both directions, right? In other words, if I'm projecting a laser out from my slide or my trigger guard area, etc., I'm projecting that laser from my gun, right? Which means now my gun's location is known to who's ever on the other end of that laser, right? So I might be giving away and compromising my own position if that position wasn't already known by, the threat, so to speak. So the lack of training, right, with light discipline and things of that nature is another reason why. And also the electronics, guys. Let's be honest. How many times do you think you can drop your gun on some concrete or something of that nature before those lasers break? And follow-up question to that, how many of you have never dropped one of your handguns? Because I drop mine more often than I care to think about. So with that in mind, if you drop those handguns a couple of times, odds are you're going to bust that laser. So and if it costs you a few $100s, a lot of people aren't willing to take that kind of risk. And I also don't think that enough people know how to adjust and zero those lasers. And so I think some people get the mistaken impression that they're not actually working when in reality they're just not correctly aligned with their sights.
So let's talk about that a little bit more. One of the negative parts about a laser is you have to sight it in for a fixed distance. Right? Because of mechanical offset
and external ballistics and all of that stuff.
That is a little bit less so with some of like the higher quality lasers out there, like the Laser Max, right? The one that goes inside of your guide rod. And I wouldn't say that we're necessarily, like anti-laser, but, there may not be, like a time and a place for it all the time. And I would say, especially for new shooters, right?
Yeah.
If you want a laser, that's fine. But I normally recommend that you learn to be proficient with your iron sights first. After you can do that and you want a laser, sure, go and buy a laser. But only after you are proficient with your iron sights, because like Pat said, a lot of times stuff can fail, right? Your laser can run out of batteries. You can drop it and break it. And if you rely on only seeing that red dot on your target and not your sights, that could be
an issue.
That could be a
serious issue.
Yeah.
So if I can shoot with iron sights, Josh, can I also shoot with a laser? Right. Like if I know how to shoot, with my iron sights, can I, and my laser's correctly aligned, when I put that laser on my target, will I be able to get hits on the target?
Sure.
100%, right? If I've only learned to shoot with a laser and now my laser fails, batteries die, etc., am I going to be able to get hits on a target with my iron sights? maybe not, right? If I've never spent the time to get proficient there, right?
Right.
So a lot of us, especially in the modern age that we live in, we've become reliant on these technologies, guys. And I would say that technology is just like everything else, right? It's only an asset if you've trained with yourself, if you trained yourself with it enough to the point that it becomes an asset, right? Otherwise, it's a liability to you. Because it's just another failure point. It's just another weakness in your shooting game that could potentially come back and bite you later. So if you're going to train with it, a laser can be a great asset. If you're not going to train with it, it's just one more liability, one more thing that can mess you up. So,
man, I'll tell you one thing I would much rather have than a laser.
A dot?
A light.
Ooh, 100%. Yep.
If I had had the choice between adding a laser to any of my guns and adding a light to my guns, 10 out of 10 times I'm going to choose a light.
That's absolutely true. I'm even going to go a step further and say that if I was going to mount a light onto my handgun, I would do so only if I also had a reliable handheld light that would be my primary option. Because again, we've said this a bunch of times on this stream, and I will say it until I'm blue in the face. Not everything that I need to see better also needs a handgun pointed at it.
Yep.
Right. So,
Yep. It's the same. It's the same kind of principle when you're hunting. Why you carry a set of binos? Right.
Not everything that I want to get a better look at requires me to point my rifle at it.
100%.
Right. So
same principle, guys.
Same mindset applies here. That's an excellent point, Josh.
We got time for maybe two.
I would do one or two
I'd
more.
say. Yeah.
All right, well, we got two, which should be pretty quick. They're more stock questions, which came in during the stream.
Sure.
So, any Glock 44s currently in inventory?
Negative.
It's been a while since we've had those, and I don't have any on the way at the moment. Trying to, though. Got a lot of people looking for them.
Yeah, they're cool guns, man. I really hated those things when they first came out. I keep saying this. I've said this a whole bunch of times. Like, I wish I hadn't have been. So I was adamant. Like, I hated that gun when it first came. I couldn't ask Josh every time he would mention that. That thing is stupid. I hated it. And you know what? It's really grown on me over time. And I find it to be a pretty valuable training aid. So for those of you guys that were looking, for some training aids, having a 22 caliber analog to whatever handgun that you carry, there's more value there than you might think. And if you put enough rounds through those guns, they can really help you become a better shooter in a lot of ways. Trigger control, sight alignment, follow through, all of those things stay the same no matter what caliber we're shooting, guys. So think about that.
I'm just thinking of the 22, was it the LCP?
Oh, yeah, we got 22 LCPs.
Gone.
Or we've had 22 LCPs in the past. We have one on the rental wall. But, yeah, same mindset there, right? If you had the LCP in 380 and you had the LCP in 22 as well, fantastic. All right, one more, please. Yep.
Is any 12 gauges in stock? I believe he was talking about actual shotguns.
Like shotguns. Yeah, I got a couple 12 gauge firearms. So we've got a 12 gauge side by side, AH Fox on consignment. We've got this sweet FN Browning A5.
Just came in on consignment today.
Just came in the light 12, 5.5.
Is that made in Belgium? Is that a Belgium-made Browning?
That would be a Josiah question.
Well, it'll say. Okay.
Actually, it looks like the one I inherited from my grandfather.
St. Louis.
Nice.
Nope, U.S.-made gun.
I love shooting that thing. If it's the same one I inherited, I love shooting that gun.
Yeah, they're great, dude. A5s are basically like A5 is like the classic semi-auto shotgun.
Pretty much every other shotgun design was based on that in some way.
Our Lord and Savior John Moses Browning.
So Shockwave 590 with an SBA4 brace and a nice sling. This one's on consignment for $1,000, $999.99. And then we have a Winchester Model 1300. So this specific one happens to be the National Wild Turkey Federation variant of this shotgun. It's got a choke tube in there.
A C-Lec choke? Or no?
Yep.
Is it really?
Yep. Modified.
That's cool.
Yep.
Huh.
So pretty cool. And this one's out for $399.99.
Surprised that's still here, honestly.
It's been here for a little bit, yeah. Longer than I thought it would last. So yes, we do have some 12s. And 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. 5 of them.
And this
this
single shot Savage.
Is that a Savage? I thought it was.
Yeah, no. Stevens.
Okay, yeah.
Single shot trap grade. Very nice gun. Anybody's looking for a trap gun. Very nice.
So a single shot, a side by side, an A5 semi-auto, Winchester pump, and a Mossberg pump.
Lots of 20 gauges too.
Yeah, those TriStar Raptor 20 gauges. We
Bunch
got
of semi-auto.
5 of
20s.
those. So
Those are nice for the price, $475 for a semi-auto.
seem like very well-made
nice
shotguns.
ones,
I'm impressed by them, actually.
All right, I think we'll close this one by John DeWitt.
Yeah, we like John.
It's actually a fairly good question, I thought. What drills can you do alone at the range to build handgun skills? So how to find and set solo training goals.
Sure.
Not necessarily just going there and putting 50 rounds through a paper target.
Yep.
What can you do maybe more like before you actually put the round downrange?
Pat knows all about that.
So yeah, there are a lot of good downloadable targets out there, guys. One of the ones that I really like is from Gorilla Approach, their consistency target. Gorilla Approach has this awesome downloadable target. It's called the consistency target, and it is 8 little circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
We've shot that together.
We've shot it a bunch of times. Right under the 8 little circles, there are 4 little circles. 4 slightly larger circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there is an array of circles. So there are 3 rows of targets on an 8x11 sheet that you put portrait style up on a backer, and you shoot 3 separate strings of 8. One, going right down the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way through 8. Then 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1. I think is the last.
I'm gonna post a link to that, Pat.
Yeah, so it is. It's 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1 on the last little row. Josh's going to put that link up down below. So that's one specific target that I really like. It's 24 rounds, and it's designed to be shot at 3 yards. There is a par time associated with the drill, so you could do it all as one string of fire. Josh and myself have done it a bunch of different ways. We've broken up the top string into its own little section. Then we've done the middle string as a separate section. And then we've done the lower string as a third little iteration on its own. And we've incorporated some reloads, so you shoot the whole first row, then you reload the gun, shoot the whole second, row, reload the gun again, and shoot the whole third row. So there are multiple different ways that you can kind of use that target. We have targets that you guys, probably have used when you've come here before. We have the circle ones, the 0 type target where it's one big circle in the middle. Then you've got your targets at the 4 corners, the 4 circles. And I really like to use those for different types of counting drills or different types of, really fine front sight focus to float the dot, break the shot type sight pictures to flash sight pictures. So really playing with, fine focus on the sights versus really fast, just kind of verification of my sights on a target kind of deal.
Yes. Can you think of another target that we have here that would be a great thing to do that is not just putting 50 rounds in?
Oh, you mean the TFP standards?
I mean the TFP standards drill.
So, Josh, why don't you break that down for him? I'll go grab a target and we'll take it.
Yeah. So last year or the year before, Pat and a little bit me came up with the firing pin standards drill, which is something that we came up with.
They don't even print them. I forgot. They're not even printed on the thing anymore.
They're not? Oh, well, we got to fix that. Well, anyways, we came up, mostly Pat, came up with this drill that we figured you could use.
One of our silhouette targets.
Yeah, when you were at the range so that you weren't just putting 50 rounds through, the same ragged hole. And also we kind of made it as, like the baseline standard to get into some of our higher level handgun classes, right? So if you could pass, like this test that we made up, there's a link to it on our website, then you could get into some of like the higher level training without having to take like a 101, 102, 103 type deal.
Like that pistol mechanic class that you guys took, that would require usually for somebody to come.
That's not on there.
I know, it used to be printed on here. So guys, when we came up with this initially, the idea was simple. You're going to hang this target at 7 yards, right? everything's going to go into this scored area on the target here where the ovals are, or into this scored area up here. Anything on the yellow is out. Anything on the black portion of the target is generally grounds for disqualification. And so we had it set up where you would shoot 5 rounds freestyle, right? Good two-handed grip on the handgun to the chest. Then we had it rounds would then be shot support hand only. Next iteration would be a 5 reload, 5 all to the body. So it's another 10 rounds. And the last iteration would be 4 to the body, 1 to the head. So the total round count was 30 rounds. You had to shoot 21 out of 30 in the scored area of the target with nothing in the black.
Which is an 80% accuracy.
It was, you're right. It was 24 hits, out of 30, because it was an 80% accuracy standard.
80%.
So, yeah, at 7 yards, guys, I think, and I know that Josh agrees, this target here represents a very achievable accuracy standard at 7 yards, right?
Definitely.
The vast majority of us that carry a handgun every day, we should be aspiring to be able to keep everything within that circle, maybe even a smaller circle, potentially at 7 yards. And then, one round into the head, right? Because sometimes we start shooting here, center of mass, and we realize that that's not solving the problem. So maybe if we put a bullet up in this off switch, maybe we get a better result, right? So, yeah, we're going to get some more of these printed up, I think it sounds like.
Yeah, I'm going to have to reach out.
And, yeah.
I don't know what I should have noticed that sooner.
Yeah, you'd think that we would have, gotten some more of those squared away, but that's okay. We're going to get some for you guys, and these will be available right at the front. And if you guys ever have any questions about the TFP standards, what it is, how can I do it, whatever, you can ask me, you can ask Josh or any of the other guys here. It is on the site. And John, for you specifically, I would encourage you to print off that little sheet from the site and just bring it here when you're practicing, because it's going to give you different things to work on. You can shoot, freestyle. You can shoot strong hand only. You can shoot support hand only. You can shoot, and incorporate a little emergency reload action in there, and then you can shoot 4 to the chest, and the face gets the rest, right? So
The Dalai Lama said that.
He did.
I think that's our last question. It's 8:55.
That's all I got in me for tonight, guys. I'm sorry.
Thank you guys so much. You are all always so great. I felt like we had a lot of comments tonight, more than we usually do. So thank you guys for being there, to guide the show, because we rely on you. Otherwise, Pat and I would just be giving each other the hairy eyeball.
Standing here just making way too much eye contact.
We'd be talking about flashlights all night.
Eating Ralph and Rosie's pizza.
Right? We're all big flashlight junkies.
Yep.
Again, congratulations to little JD for winning that single shot 410 shotgun. Our youngest viewer, you're the man. And next week, we're going to give away a TFP calendar with all of our beautiful faces on it and some 9mm hollow points. So we're going to randomly select one of you guys to win that next week. And if there was something that you really wanted us to touch on this week, but we didn't, go ahead and send us a message on our Facebook page. We'll make sure that we try to touch on that next week's live stream.
Yeah, and this is a really great point as well, right? So we do these once a week, and for those of you that watch them, first of all, we really appreciate the heck out of you guys, because you're here with us every week.
We do this for you guys.
Shenanigans. But yeah, we do require that help. But if you guys think of stuff, tomorrow's Friday, that live stream is 6 days away. If we can get questions coming in throughout that whole 6-day period, that's going to really help set us up for the next show, and it might even inspire us to take the show in a specific direction if we get a lot of questions that point us that way. So, help us out, guys, and help yourselves to get the information that you're looking for. Make us talk to you about what you want to hear.
We are here but to serve.
We live but to serve, indeed.
Thank you guys so much. Stay safe. We love y'all, and we'll see you on the next one or in the shop. Thank you.
Have a good night, guys.